I made a video about No Not November, and I get the question of because I mentioned addiction to sugar, and I got question of doing a video on specifically that topic. And I thought, why not do a general video about all kinds of addictions? Now, I want to throw out a disclaimer because I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, but all addictions begin here. At the beginning stage, they're like this kind of a small, irritating problem that you have. And afterwards, when you get deeper and deeper into your own addictions, you become chemically bound to those things that you chose to put yourself through. And that includes all kinds of different things. So let's begin by defining what addictions are. Addiction is an object or activity that you indulge in order to distract yourself from the reality, from taking responsibility in dealing with your own demons. And those demons are mental. Yes, mental. If you have any kind of addiction or have been battling with any kind of addiction in past, you can clearly see pattern of you indulging in those addictions when you try to escape from dealing with your emotions of not feeling fulfillment. So we basically are trying to fill this void of not feeling whole. That's why you have these smoking pauses. When people in groups go outside of the working place and puff it out, trying to bond during this activity. And actually some of them are praised to peer pressure. Just wanting to bond, wanting to feel some connection with other people. So you harm your own self in order to make some new friends. And it's even strange that we allow certain types of drugs like cigarettes or alcohol, but forbid other types of drugs. The point being that alcohol and tobacco is very much hard to produce on your own. It has to be regulated in order to mass produce. But that's not the case with other drugs. Anyhow, as I was saying, any kind of addictions is for you to feel something good in a mundane life that you otherwise not enjoy that much. Take a note of this. When you are doing your grocery shop, Friday or maybe Saturday evening, watch the kind of things that people place on their shopping carts. Chips, crisps, cheesy balls, snacks, fizzy drinks, soda. Yeah, you know, the usual stuff. When you feel that you don't have anything going on in your life, you think for yourself, let me try and party up a little bit. So you snack and you enjoy your Netflix shows, killing yourself slowly. And that's why those ads of harmful effects of highly processed foods and tobacco doesn't work, because the consequences are not noticed long before it's too late. Those things take ages to kill you, but they're very effective. As you know, most of the westernized cultures having weight issues. Majority of populations are being overweight. And there's actually no ways to prevent that, because we want to escape the boredom, because we want to zone out and forget our problems for just a short amount of time. Why do you think there are many people who are workaholics? Because they're escaping from something. I was specifically asked a question about sugar addiction, and how to deal with it. Well, it's very simple if you think about it. Because most of the groceries that we buy in this day and age contain sugar. And sugar is a highly addictive thing because it's very easy digestible. And in combination with other types of foods, I would say large amounts of foods, it makes your body to store a lot of fat. What happens is that your body produces insulin in order to deal with that sugar. And when your insulin levels are spiked, you're not burning fat. You're storing fat. Actually, it's not just about the sugar. Highly refined carbohydrates act like sugar, quickly and easily digested, make the body act in the same way as in dealing with sugar. You have to try to avoid eating foods that have different ingredients. The more ingredients a food package has, the more it's processed, and you should try to avoid them as much as possible. And that goes for things like white rice, white flour. You may ask here, but wait a second, fruits contain sugar. And yes, you're right, but the difference between fruits and refined sugars is that the amount of sugar that is contained in fruits is served to you together with fiber, which prolongs the digestive process and consequently doesn't mess with your hormone levels. Besides, fruits aren't that calorie dense compared to processed sugar. Sugar craving is very prominent when your body lacks nutrition. What ends up happening is that your body sends signal to your brain craving instant energy, and sugary foods are very fast to digest. as well as very dense in calories. So your mission is to eat home-cooked food and avoid fast foods as much as possible. After some time of clean eating, you will notice that you don't crave so much sugar. And even going beyond this, you will be disgusted with too much sugar in your food. And yes, I've done a video on nutrition, so you're welcome to check it out. You should find more information there. Addicted to this? I know, you're not alone. So addiction to smartphones is easy because it's a tool that allows you to fast forward time. Most often than not, people start to use smartphones when they commute to jobs or other long distances. You're too restless, you're too bored, you want the time to pass by a lot faster. So you take up your phone, browse all of your accounts. Then lift your head up and notice that time has passed so fast that you almost missed your stop. It's very effective, especially when you're tired and you don't want to engage with other people. If you haven't thought about this, take a note next time you're commuting. Whenever you are tired and drained on energy, you are more than likely susceptible to outwardly irritation triggers. And that's why you want to do everything in order to avoid them. That becomes a rut, that becomes a ritual, and you become addicted. Because as soon as you get engaged emotionally, creating different accounts, being active on different platforms, you get your likes, you get your followings, you get that dopamine rush, you are hooked. So let's discuss some different methods to cope with these addictions. Yet again, if you're highly addicted to something, I suggest you that you seek medical assistance. First and foremost, don't try to compensate your addictions by indulging in something else, by shifting your focus into something else that is harmful to you. Like for example, if you're a smoker, don't go and buy some nicotine patch, because you are shifting your addiction from one form to another. One thing you have to do is to reflect upon this. Admit to yourself about your own addictions. Reflect, ponder, ask yourself why you are doing this. Understand what kind of situations trigger you. Make sure to avoid them at any cost, at least in the beginning, so you don't fall back, so you don't relapse. When you feel bored and restless, try to direct your focus on others' needs. Try to serve other people. By shifting your attention in doing something good for other people, creating value to others, you will quickly forget your own problems. And in that way, you will distract yourself. That's right, distractions are one of your biggest weapons. As soon as you are backed up into the wall and you feel that craving is crippling forward, do anything to escape it. Like for instance, take a long walk. And while doing that, meditate. Like focus on your breath. Focus on outwardly sounds, visuals. Whenever you feel that you're slipping up, addictions numb you as a person. It switches off your emotions. You don't feel joy, you don't feel sadness, you feel kinda in a vacuum. When you get your fix, that is, it makes you think that you are superhuman for a moment being, because you're not letting your emotions to take the best out of you. In these situations, you have to be compassionate towards your own self. Be kind. Don't judge yourself. Just acknowledge the situation and work with whatever you have at hand. If you are not deciding to quit, you won't quit. You have to mentally prepare yourself to walk the distance. Be ruthless with your decision making. Don't compromise. Sometimes when you're feeling down, too weak, cannot find any strength within you to proceed with your progress, you should consider a positive reinforcement within other areas of your life. So if you're a smoker, but you're an avid athlete and you go to the gym very often, that positivity may rub off onto the other areas of your life. What you have to do is to think about all of the victories that you have accomplished in your life so far, and that will give you energy boost to keep pushing. If walking doesn't help you, that means you have too much energy at hand to cope with your addiction. In that case, take a quick session of running. Exhaust yourself physically, sweat, drain yourself on energy. You just have to pass this bump, this threshold, and from that point on, it will become easy. It will become your internal point. And remember, the things that you're addicted to have control over you. And you don't want to be controlled by things and other people in your life, because the only thing you are supposed to be addicted to is life. Or saying, out.